Having a big room sounds like a dream until you realize it just feels empty, awkward, or like you're living in an IKEA showroom. If you've ever looked around your space and thought, why does it still feel unfinished? Trust me, you're not alone. My mom has the master bedroom in my house, and it literally took me like 6 to 8 months just to get everything perfect. Today, I'm gonna help you avoid all of that extra time and share some of my favorite styling hacks to help maximize your big room, make it feel more intentional, and actually fill it out without making it cluttered. There's a lot that goes into this, so I don't want to waste any time. Make sure to subscribe and like this video, and let's jump right into it. Now, styling a large room seems like it should be easy, right? You've got all this space to work with, but that's exactly what makes it so difficult. One of the biggest challenges is creating a cohesive look. With so much space, it's easy for things to feel disconnected. Just like every corner is its own random zone, instead of part of a bigger picture. You might have a nice couch, a cool shelf, maybe even a desk. But if they're floating in different areas with no visual connection, the room starts to feel more like a showroom than a cozy space. Another very common issue is empty, wasted space. You either end up shoving everything against the walls or leaving awkward gaps that just make the room feel unfinished. And let's be real, filling space just for the sake of trying to kill dead space can end up looking cluttered very fast. Key is learning how to find the balance that makes the room feel full, but not cramped. Connected, but not overly matchy. And that's exactly what I'm gonna be helping you guys with today. So guys, let's get into the first step and really start pulling your space together. Tip number 1 is choosing a cohesive color palette. When you've got a bigger room, it can be really tempting to grab whatever you like. Different posters, furniture pieces in different hues, throw pillows in every color of the rainbow. But all that's gonna do is make your space feel disconnected and mismatched. Instead, I'd recommend picking 2 to 3 main colors, plus maybe 1 accent shade, and carrying those tones throughout your walls, your furniture, and the decor. A nice unified palette makes everything feel intentional rather than chaotic, and it's really what helps turn an empty, echoey room into a cohesive, cozy space. Another quick pro tip before buying anything, I'd recommend laying some swatches on the floor next to your furniture, or just creating like a simple mood board through Pinterest will not only save you a bunch of time, money, and effort, but will also keep you from ending up with tones that clash. Now guys, moving on to the next step, you want to define purposeful zones. The trick is to ask yourself, what do I actually need this room to do? Do you need a workstation, a hobby corner, a chill out spot, or maybe all 3? I think it's important to not only get creative, but also focus on the necessities first. By creating clear, connected zones, you give each corner its own purpose, so the room feels intentional, flows naturally, and will never end up looking like one giant empty room. Moving on to tip number 3, I'm talking about activating empty walls. Nothing makes a big room feel more unfinished than long stretches of empty walls. So to fix that, we want to hang mirrors, art prints, pegboards, and floating shelves to turn these dead spaces into a design feature. Now, starting with mirrors, these aren't just decorative. They also reflect light back into the room, making it feel a lot brighter and open. Art prints and posters help add to your personal style, while pegboards and floating shelves give you a functional display for small items or decor. It's important to use a variety of these things, not just a wall full of posters, because in a way that can start to get tacky. But if you just see the difference, empty walls feel cold and echoey, but just even 2 or 3 pieces can really start to warm up the space and make it feel lived in. And guys, this is a time to remember tip number 1 and stick to your color palette. If your walls, frames, and shelf accessories all share the same 2 to 3 colors, everything will tie together nicely instead of clashing. Now guys, moving on from your walls onto my favorite, which is layering your lighting. Now guys, relying on a single ceiling light in a big room will often leave you with harsh shadows and dark corners. Instead, you want to layer multiple light sources. I'm talking your main overhead fixture, a couple of floor or table lamps, hidden LED strips for ambient glow, plus any specialty lights like nano panels to add personality and fill in the shadows. One more thing is to make sure to match your bulb's color temperature to the vibe you want. Warm bulbs make the room feel inviting and cozy, which is what I really like, while cooler bulbs look crisp and energetic and are probably better suited for work. In your case, pick whichever best complements your color palette and the function of each zone. And guys, if you follow all these tips, your room should already instantly feel so much more cozy. Now guys, moving on to tip number 5, I'm talking zoning with rugs. In my opinion, rugs aren't just about looking cozy, they're really a powerful tool for defining areas in a large room. When you pick rugs and colors or textures that complement your main palette, but also make layering furniture feel much more intentional and cohesive. Although this hack is very simple, it makes a massive difference. Instead of one giant empty floor, you get distinct cozy zones that guide the eye and invite you to use each space for its purpose. Now that was tip number 5, and for number 6, it's honestly one that you probably wouldn't expect, which is making sure to add creative and concealed storage. Now I know most of you with bigger rooms are thinking, changing. I have plenty of space to store things. Honestly, you can't let everyday items float around and ruin the vibe. That's where creative concealed storage is going to be coming in. Think slim display shelves for small items you want to show off, multifunctional ottomans that hide extra bedding and pillows, under bed bins for out of season things, and a closet organizer to give everything its place. In my mom's room, I added this super sleek LED corner shelf, and this was a great way to showcase my mom's favorite decor pieces without eating up too much floor space. On top of that, I also got some unique boho style floating shelves for a touch of warmthness. And in my opinion, with this layout that I got set up for her, everything is just super easy to grab when you need it, but also stays hidden when you don't. Having a room that not only has a bunch of function, but also storage, I think is super important to keep things clean. Because honestly, the bigger the room, the more stuff you're likely gonna have, and storing that stuff becomes a lot more difficult. Now y'all, moving on to tip number 7, I'm talking about greenery. Now, adding plants adds more than just look nice. Besides the price, it's very similar to rugs because it injects life into your space and helps balance that bigger room scale. You can add a tall floor plant, which will help draw your eye upwards, making high ceilings feel intentional. Meanwhile, small succulents or potted ferns on tabletops add texture and interest at an eye level. Whether you go real or fake, greenery fills in those visual gaps, makes every corner feel inviting. In my opinion, it's one of the simplest ways to make a big room feel cozy and cohesive. And at this point, with every corner now functional and alive, it's time to make this space truly yours and add those personal touches. Because if we're being real, nothing says home like the things you love and the way a room smells. I'd recommend tucking in a diffuser or a candle into the corner of your room to fill the air with a comforting scent. Next, you can throw in some throw pillows, tapestries, or statement art pieces in your accent color to break up any large spaces of the wall or floor. These personal accents add warmth, texture, and that final touch of personality that I think every room needs. Because if you have personality, your big room won't just look like it's styled, it'll actually feel like it's lived in, which in my opinion, I think is all we could really ask for. But yeah guys, there you have it. Those are 8 styling hacks that turn even the biggest, most awkward room into a cozy, functional space that is all you. Guys, I know that styling out a big room can feel a lot more difficult than it honestly is, but if you guys follow these steps to a T, I'm sure it will become a lot easier, because personally, this is information that I wish I had before I started the master bedroom at my house. It would have definitely saved me a lot of time and headaches. But if you guys love these tips, please make sure to hit that like button and subscribe for more home styling advice. If you want to see the full journey of how I turned my mom's empty room into her dream space, make sure to check out this video linked right here. Aside from that right there, if you heard me mention earlier, I do have a huge transformation in the works currently for my living room. So if y'all are interested in seeing that as well, I hope you guys subscribe. Stay tuned for all the content that I have on the way. As always guys, I hope you have a great day. Peace.